The Volvo DR631 was introduced in 1966 and it has a claim to be the first ever articulated hauler. It could carry 10 tonnes and it had the nickname of Gravel Charlie. This Motorart model of Gravel Charlie comes in an unusual wooden packing crate, and it's got some nice printed artwork around the sides. Underneath the box there's some generic information, but there's no information about the real DR631, and it's a pity that that's not included with a model of such a historic machine. Opening up the case there's a plastic former to remove, and then the model can be carefully lifted out, but you have to be a little bit careful because it's slightly delicate. Inside the box there's some nice black foam rubber, and when all the packaging's taken out there's also a plastic display base for the model. There's one other small item included in a box, and that's a plastic pointer to enable you to open the engine covers. There's not really any assembly to do other than putting the model on the display base, if that's how you want to show it. Out of the box there were no problems with the model, but on driving it to the test track, a front wheel came off. It's a screwed connection that wasn't done up properly, and because of its design, it was actually quite hard to fix. Starting underneath, the drive shaft to the rear axle is modelled in plastic, but this was a four-wheel drive machine and there's no transmission model to the front axle. The thin rubber tyres have a good tread pattern and are mounted on detailed plastic wheels. At the front there are thin metal grab rails and there's paint highlighting on the engine covers. The inside of the cab is simple, just like the real machine, and at the back the lights and mesh grille really look the part. The top of the chassis has some additional detailing, and the hydraulic rams are interesting because they're extremely thin. The dump body is a nice metal casting and it's got real perforations at the front, and both the structure and the graphics give it a realistic look. So Gravel Charlie's made it to the test track, and let's see how it rolls along. And there is some stickiness of the front wheels as they catch on the wheel arches. The pivot point does have some nice rotation, but for some reason the steering angle has only been modelled with some very limited range of movement. Let's move on and take a dump. The body raises to a decent angle and the stiffness of the rams is good enough to hold any pose on the way up. And Motorart has also provided some other interesting functionality, and that's because there are a couple of opening engine covers. The plastic tool is useful to get the covers open, and they do stay in an open pose. And although it's a little bit hard to see, there is a detailed plastic engine inside. That's the opening engine cover on one side, and if we go to the other side of the model, the top cover opens and you get a better view of what's inside. It's nice to see models made of machines that have their place in history, and it's even better when the machine has got a nickname like Gravel Charlie. This model is pretty good in terms of most of the detailing and functionality. It's a little bit delicate, but as long as the model arrives in good shape, then it's highly recommended.